a new car, you go get another one. This is not a car, because I didn't marry
I'm a
this.
human being.
I married what's driving this body. That's who I
Okay.
married, and that's what's so important. Uh, and that's what you know. That's another thing in friendship: agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Agree to disagree. Yeah. That can cause misunderstandings and like said that he has his perspective, I have my perspective, but that doesn't mean we have to have a conflict about it, you know.
no. See, that's agree to disagree. To me, is that I should be able to say exactly on my mind, but finding
But
the right
you
word.
do,
But
right,
yeah,
right. You
finding
don't
the
always
right
find
word.
the right, you don't
Yeah,
always come up with the right words,
yeah.
yeah.
But
But
just because I express ourselves, but the other side over there, they also needs to be reasonable because you shouldn't be stuck. This is the way it is, and I'm going to do that. You're never going to grow. You're afraid of change, and if you're afraid of all these things, then and you stuck and it's got to be my way or the highway, that's not a friend to me. Because a friend should be, both friends, both sides should grow together.
right, right.
Because the more information you get, life is going to change.
Or if they can't grow, I mean, they can understand each other.
Yeah.
You're right, and not hold grudges or whatever. But I wanted to say something about friendship, about getting along and getting upset over petty. So maybe the example you use about voting for Trump, I don't like that example. But anyway,
Here's another one.
I'm trying to think of another one. Help me come up with another one. But anyway, it's
What are you
like,
trying to do? Come up with an example of
okay,
what?
a person that has flaws, and you say, what's wrong with that person? It's like, I just don't like that question. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Because they did something that I thought was, because you did something that I thought was, I mean, I haven't thought that about you, but I just don't like that question when someone says, what's wrong with you? It's like, people are who they are. Okay. And in friendships, I believe that we accept the person for who they are, flaws and all.
Okay, case in point. I'll give an example.
Okay.
When we first started out, like you already know, she has phobia about bills and stuff like that. Uh, at the beginning, here we were 20 something years old, and we finally got our first house. And she came in kicking and screaming, and what I did, uh, we're going to talk about that later in another video, and we sit down and we like to talk about things. But when I saw this opportunity, I said, I know what she's going to say. So I sat there and I basically corralled her in where she had no choice, and we bought the house. And now the interesting part about that is this is the example. That was her back in the 70s. But I believe today, if we saw that opportunity, she would have ran over me. See, we getting that. She's growing. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
If
Growing.
agreeing
Yeah.
to disagree, we disagreed at that time. I took a risk, and I'm glad I took a risk, because if we had waited to now to get in the housing market, because I feel for my kids,
couldn't afford it.
it's tough.
Yeah.
Right? You
it
got to
is.
find other ways to invest, but you can still. Well, that's another subject in itself. And see, that's another thing with friendship. Friendship, money, stuff like this should not ever tear a relationship apart. Okay? It's interesting how my wife, because I remember I had a business deal with in the music industry, and at one night I lost $10,000, and I was afraid to come home, and the way that worked, I walked in the house and woke her up at around about 3 in the morning and told her, and she said, "Yeah, okay," and rolled over and kept sleeping. And I said,
Time is everything.
yeah. Then the next day, when she got up, I said, "Did you hear what I said?" She said, "Yeah, I heard you." And she didn't say nothing for years. But here recently, now she's trying to hold it in my face and start beating me up with it. So, and then after I defended myself again, and then explained to her why, and then, and the only reason why she beat me up, and I'm going to tell you from my side, because yes, I asked a question and I did answer, but I also did some research. But she said it because she was just angry with me at the time. And that's okay. That's part of friendship, good times. There's going to be bad times
Bad risk,
and bad risk.
good risk.
And she doesn't hold, and she kind of holds against me because that's her argument when we sit down and we deal with business. But still, we have still purchased, real estate, and she didn't go kicking and screaming. And the thing is that she's trying to figure out how she can invest in the market now. So this is the version that was what 0.1.0 back in there, but she's at version like 250 something now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so she's a different version.
Wow.
So this is what you get out of friendship.
Same old person, just a little bit of growth.
That's not a little bit of growth. I said 2 point something of that. She went through some changes. So that's a lot of different versions of her.
Yeah.
So and she wasn't just coming at 45. She was just changing the year. But no, I think she can speak of this because me being an athlete, I ain't gonna just here and just losing this game sitting. She's gonna have to step up to the plate. So when I push, those times when I push her real hard, I got my thing around. They call them man caves. No, I go find another room and sleep in it. She's never thrown me out of the bedroom. But I go in another bedroom.
Never have.
Yeah, but go in another
That's
room.
not saying I won't.
What?
I can't.
She just all talk. But that's the whole thing is because looking at this world, especially as a black couple coming out of the areas that we came from,
Right.
we've had a lot of different education, but now I'm just sitting back and looking at the education that one of these times I'm going to start uncovering where I got my education from. If you're listening close, you can probably figure it out. But more of my education is coming from just out of love, understanding, and walking in the other person's shoes. So I at times I sit there and look at where she's coming from. Like I said,
And don't understand it.
Yeah, and I just
I
said,
don't always understand it.
I said, yeah. So anyway, I would have to say, my whole thing is friendship with my wife. I said I trust her. Some things I don't. It all depends on what it is, and I'm not selective about it. In the places that I don't trust, I try to push her button, educate her, so she can be trusted in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But it just what we're trying to say is I don't know everything, and she doesn't know everything, and we acknowledge that.
One thing about my friend here, I think my husband gives good advice, so I just don't seek his advice, but other people seeks his advice also. So I think that's a good quality to have. To people trust you where they, ask your opinion about things. So I think that's a good quality to have.
Yeah, and my wife over here, she's the baby in the family, like a spoiled little thing. She doesn't get her way, she go tell my daddy.
I only did that one time in our marriage. Told his daddy on here. Oh my goodness.
But see, I hope you understand. It's just not just the words. It's just that you got to get to know your friend. That's all we're saying.
Right.
As far as getting along and all these other things, say, not being judgmental, agree to disagree. You may have other things.
Not perfect.
Yeah, they're not perfect. But at the same time, when you can talk to one another and work through these things, again, like I said, human beings always want to ask the question and give their own answer and then blame their friend.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say about friendship is, okay, it's not a matter that you're going to fix the person, but it's a matter of tolerant too, because who that person is who that person is, and we have to have some level of tolerance also in our relationship. Right?
Right, but see, when you say tolerant, you remember castor oil coming up as kids?
Yes.
Yeah, but see, Mama put a little sugar on it, something on it, and dull it, and yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's like tolerating, but also too, I like not only just tolerate you because people can get so tired of it and they ready to go and walk out of the relationship and they'll be missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to sit down and say, okay, is there a better way than castor oil?
Yeah.
Okay, we should go looking for those things.
Yeah.
We should be willing to change, willing to grow, and go and look for these things because I don't know. I heard this so many times. People say, "Well, that's the way my daddy did it," and especially these old hymn songs. Give me that old good time religion. I says, "Okay, but I'm not in slavery right now, and I mean it's a little different." When this one particular doctor says post trauma something slavery. I forgot exactly what she said, but anyway, it's to me is this is a new day. I'm hoping our children do better than us. So, and the only way we can get them to do better by us being close friends, so we can get all the knowledge from our experiences. Where my wife come from a different background, and I different. When we went in the classroom, we got different perspectives because we do have one thing is that we designed ours. She has
what?
designed our relationship when it comes to knowledge. That you have a business degree, and I also have one. So it's a little bit of concentration different, but all the core classes and everything were the same. So we thought of that because I don't ever want to outgrow my wife. What I want to do is keep pushing her to be a better version of herself, and she's doing a good job.
And I want to be pushed. I don't want to stay in a rut. I don't want to be the same old, same old. I am willing to grow and to be pushed, even though I may kick and scream sometime, but I really do like to be pushed and to grow.
Yeah, and I say, man, don't get so frustrated where you're ready to hit your wife. That's not going to get it because men don't should never hit our wives or being abusive of it. But I'm just saying that because she can push my button where, like I said, out the window. But I'm saying that.
That's a two-way street, though. Right?
I'm heavier than you.
Right, right. A two-way street as far as pushing each other's buttons and getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah, because the thing is, she can't think clearly. She's not processing. She's not listening. She's going to be judged. She's going to be defensive. Bottom line. So my strategy is always to get her out of the defensive mode so she can listen. Because if I get the information in her and plant it in her mind, she will grow. She will change. So it takes a little work. Yes, and 45 years, and I would have to say. I never want to take this back and get a new car, and I rather keep the one I have. I don't they say you can change the engine or modify it. No, I'm not changing anything about it. I'm gonna let her change herself what she wants to do, and I only supply the information and let her process it.
Right.
So that way.
Same here.
Yeah. So sit there. So that's why I said that window. Don't talk for a while. But that window is constantly getting shorter.
And focus on the positive qualities.
Yep.
Instead of the quote-unquote flaws,
Yep. And just take it a day at a time. Don't worry about the